All right, Jeff, we're picking up where we left off.
That's right.
Crazy busy, and we've been behind on getting back on the podcast.
It's been wild. Yeah. I mean, the business happens night and day, and it seems like it's been pretty busy for you as well. So, happy for you. It's just, we got to get back into the podcast world. So we're back with Go Hard podcast, and
getting ready for Mega Camp next couple weeks. So want to make sure we've got some stuff ready to go. And
traveling to Austin, Texas, which is always great. 8 to 10,000 agents.
10,000.
We've got speakers on stage in front of us. We're learning from the best of the best throughout North America and some across the world. But tell us, what have you been up to lately?
Just grinding. I mean, above what we did last year, which is awesome. So it's a game of
well, and I know in the short-term rental market, we were talking as we were driving over here, is that the primary home buyer maybe have slowed up a little bit because of the interest rates, but that secondary market that you're experiencing in Bethel, Newry is out of this world.
It's on fire still.
So what do you see happening? I mean, how is that going to continue, and how did that all get started?
Yeah, we need more inventory. I think that's the problem we're going to have anywhere. It's just we do not have enough houses to sell. I mean, I could probably sell 50 million of volume with the leads that are coming in.
Wow.
We just do not have the houses to sell.
Unreal.
And it's just identifying a niche in the market, which wasn't filled, and that's just what I went after.
Sure.
And it's been fruitful so far, but we need the inventory. That's the
awesome.
problem we have.
But in that particular buyer, though, they're looking at the numbers. It's just it's a financial play. They're not interest rate sensitive, although interest rates do affect their rate of return. They're just, it's all numbers. If they can get that return above a threshold, they pull the trigger and will write an offer. I'm ready.
I mean, I have one under contract at 8.8% right now, DSCR loan. The numbers still work, but it's terrible. It's really painful. So we're just trying to work through what we have and going to continue into the winter. And right now it's the slow season. So
got it.
Keeping focused on the activities.
So inventory is just a difficulty everywhere. I mean, you're creating some of it because they're building, it's new construction and some.
Right.
But tell me more. I mean, what else are you doing to create inventory?
It's all new construction, trying to find deals off market. So making calls, sending mail, whatever we do. And then just finding opportunities that might not be appealing. I mean, houses that are on the market for 60 days, right? So maybe taking the ugly duckling and putting some money into it and finding a house that can really perform. So that's pretty much what we're doing. And then just hitting it hard is all of it. I mean, being the first one in, last one out, and just being aggressive, because if the numbers work today, theoretically, they can only get better if interest rates do come down.
Which we expect to do, but there are buyers that are sitting and waiting and thinking, well, what if interest rates come down? Well, we know, quite frankly, then more buyers will come into the market, and then you're just going to be like shooting yourself in the foot. So it's like, get off the fence now. What are you seeing from that buyer pool? Are they just kicking tires? They out showing properties? What's really happening?
Everybody I work with is ready to go. And that's really just the conversation people need to be having right now is you're either in or you're out. There's no sideline playing right now. There's no people lowballing, anything like that. It's, if we're working together, it's ready, willing, and able, and I'm going to bring you a deal. And if the numbers work, no hesitation just to pull the trigger. I think that's the difference between the business I have versus a lot of people struggling in this market are dealing with first-time home buyers, interest rate objections, people that don't need to move. It's my people. They need to buy. They need to sell. They have timelines for taxes.
Ready, willing, and able, as we call that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything that you're doing differently to uncover them, or are they just coming to you because you're just marketing the heck out of yourself?
They're coming to me. So that's the funny thing right now that I'm experiencing, and it'll be interesting to see if it continues as the year goes on and seasons change, right? Especially with the, political situation, election year coming up. Who the heck knows what's going to happen? There's a lot of uncertainty, which has certainly slowed it down. But we're still in a strong market, Jeff. I think that's the blessing we have here in Maine. Right?
Well, that inventory is like, double-edged sword. It's like the curse, but then it's also kept prices pretty calm and steady. And, we're still seeing the climb in some markets.
Right.
Others, people are getting worried, but their home has appreciated. So they're holding on to a ton of equity in most cases. Yeah.
So you're still grinding pretty conventional real estate, buy, sell.
Right. Yeah. Still thank you cards, happy birthday cards, calling sphere of influence, and just touching base, because you just never know. My business is built on nurture and referral. So those folks that, sometimes it could be like pulling teeth, yet I know there's business 6, 9, 12 months out that will just call me. And so I can wake up every day, even though we joke that you sell a house, you are unemployed after that, right? wake up the next day kind of worried that where's the next one, and then 2 or 3 calls come in and I've got a listing or 2 and a buyer, and all's great in the world again. And I don't know that I've gone 24 to 48 hours with that not being the case.
Sure.
It's just nonstop. It's more just making sure that we could service still at a high level and live a life by design, like we say.
Right. I think that's the interesting thing I'm seeing right now. A lot of agents are really struggling. They don't have that pipeline. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. More people getting out of the business, likely.
I think people they let off the gas. They got frustrated, and they, my mentor always said, right, dig your well before you're thirsty. So it was just keep going. It might suck, but a week at a time, day at a time, closing at a time, whatever it is, go. You can let up when the time's right for you. Plan vacations and then work to your vacation, not work, never take a vacation. So we've set our schedule to take, certain days off. We won't announce it on the air, but we have times that we've scheduled for ourselves. So it's an appointment. It's just with me or my family, et cetera, so that it's protected. And then we go from there, and then we work around those times.
Right. As I think that's the funny thing right now. It's like we're not working any harder. It's just a little bit more challenging. There might be more legwork involved, but I mean, I don't know what people are doing right now, especially with such low inventory. It's a little interesting to see the trends in the market and the activities people are doing. They're 90 days behind where we are just because we never stop.
Yeah, I mean, it can certainly get frustrating. Not going to lie. You take a listing, or you go on an appointment to get a listing, and you might have to make 4, 5, 6 follow-up calls just to get that piece of business, versus the day where you just show up. And we've even said, going on that one-step appointment, you show up with your CMA and the paperwork ready to close.
Yep.
There's other times where it's like, I might have to go back a second time, and then they're still not ready to sell because they've got to do work, or, they've said, hey, life changes, things happen, months go by, like you still want to sell your home. Well, just things came up and I'm not ready. And so we have listings we've signed that are 3 to 6 months and they still haven't gone on the market. And you're like, you don't want to bother them. At the same time, if you just put your house on the market, it probably would sell. Well, I need to find a house to buy. Okay, we'll look for that too. And we've mailed letters out and door knocked to uncover properties. But, everybody has a different situation. Sure. It's just that, you're constantly like juggling everything, which does make it interesting. It's one reason I got into the business. But at the same time, it can be nerve-wracking that you're like, I've got to be patient with these folks and understand that life happens. People are people. And life and business changes every day.
Yeah, I just listed one. I had it signed in April. So it's brutal right now. We got to find those need to sell people, not the want to sell. We got to go for the need to sell right now.
Yeah. I mean, I even looked in the MLS this morning, and there were a couple of houses that had snow photos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's August.
Yeah.
When's the last time we had snow? 7 months ago.
Right.
6 months ago. But, it's just funny how that business operates. And, it can be discouraging. At the same time, then there's that day where you just get a check in the mail for, a closing that you've referred to someone across the country.
Right.
And those are always surprises. That we call it mailbox money. But we've referred tons of business, have received tons of referrals, and continue to anticipate that will go on and on and on just by staying on our database.
Yeah. So what is a game plan for Q4 for you? I'm curious.
Not much has changed. It's just to remind people that we are into an election year. So creating that urgency that says, well, I get it. Is whatever the second Tuesday in November going to change how you operate? Like, come on, your life's not going to be dependent on who's in office. You will just have something more to complain about, or Facebook message, blah, blah, blah. It's just decide what you want to do and why do you need to do it? What's the reason? And then just go for it. Then you react from there, not basing it on like, where do I think interest rates are going to go? What's going to happen? And so we're continuing to teach people, if you need a house or you need to sell your house, base it on why and the reason, not, oh, this is what the interest rate is. Because you can always refinance, and our lenders will take care of you, we'll remind you if you need. We get you that settlement statement, let you know, and you'll get a monthly, reminder of what your payment is. So if you need to lower that, you'll know how to call the right person to refinance, et cetera. But not to get all caught up in the news. I personally don't even watch it, so I couldn't tell you. It's more like ESPN, Sports Center type stuff. I could tell you everything about every sport, but I have no clue what's happening in the world, other than like financially.
Sure. Yeah. So just staying on it. That makes sense. And I think everybody's just got to stay focused right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit, you've got to put that work in, and it will reward you, and just staying top of mind, really just looking to be that person that people call when they're ready, and not hound them. Like, do you have a house to sell? You're looking to buy? Tendency to have done that in the past. It just happens, right? Where we take these sales classes and you're taught go, go, go. And then you forget, right? What happens when you're hounded by the, whatever car dealer, I'm actually just bought a car and trading in another one. And it's like, if you don't respond by this time, like, your trade-in value might go down. And if you don't get back to us, we might pull the plug on this. Like, Jesus Christ, it happens. And you have to remember that someone else is in that pair of shoes across the table or aisle from you.
Yeah, stay top of mind, do a good enough job. They're going to call you, hopefully. And if they don't, they weren't going to work with you anyway.
Exactly. So yeah. And don't take it personal, because there's folks that we live next door to or helped buy a home, and, made them several thousands of dollars, and then they go with the person that last door knocked or sent the cute piece of mail or has the pretty Instagram or whatever it is. You can't let that, hurt you, or, just go on. There's plenty of business to go around.
Right. Lots of gimmicks, smoke and mirrors right now. So staying focused. I think that's why, you and I have we thrived in this market still. It's been a good year.
It's pretty wild. Yeah. Over 120 families served so far.
Right.
So pretty good for just a few guys.
Yeah. Shared office in Scarborough. So
yeah, that's right. And covering like Portage Lake to Elliott, Kittery, and eventually back into New Hampshire.
Right. So absolutely.
Pretty wild.
So mega camp coming up. What are you looking forward to?
I thrive on like the energy of it. Obviously the sweltering heat of Austin is not fantastic in August. At the same time, you get to see people who are just on a whole nother level, thinking like we do, and just go, doing things differently, or maybe even back to the basics. I know it's kind of cliche, but the folks that are kind of dialed back into just do what they've always done and didn't stray away from that to buy like Zillow leads or the stuff that you can just chase. Right. And I get it. Some fly there. Some folks may need that to keep things going. We had at a point in time, but we've really dialed back, running really lean, and then just trying to be as profitable as possible while serving clients and taking good care of them. So that being said, I mean, the biggest takeaway I hope from Austin is just to see that people are succeeding at a high level. What are they doing? And then back to the life by design. So that's been like the big highlight of probably the last 12 to 24 months, even like during COVID, was everybody's had more time to reflect on like why, what do you do? And, what's really the big picture? Like, why do you bust your ass to make all this money only to buy back time? Why don't you already have time? Spend it how you wish, and then the money will come. So we've, the Mexican fishing parable, we joke about that, and have talked about it through our coaching, is just realizing like, what are we chasing? What's the reason? And, when's enough? So a lot of reflection on that, and, meeting up with those folks, grabbing coffee, lunch, dinner, to just pick their brain, and then see that, kind of behind the scenes from the social media piece, that they maybe, who's the true people that we want to be around. Right.
Yeah. It's figuring out what's working for other people, and then really sharing what's working for us, and just contributing back. So that'll be really good. Yeah. And then big emphasis on investing, I think, for myself, is getting out of the rat race and focusing on that passive income.
Yeah, isn't it funny? We tell all these folks, and there's even people in the room watching that we're talking to as well, that we are in the business where we're helping folks buy and sell real estate, and some folks are not buying and selling real estate themselves. So we're talking all these numbers and cash on cash returns, and they maybe not partaking in it. So we've started to do more of that ourselves, is picking up investment properties. We both own several, and even other businesses that dabble in real estate or have a connection to it. Is to just make sure that we're doing more of that, because that makes life easier. You answer to just yourself and your money, and maybe a partner or, significant other that has a say in that. But otherwise, it's not, we don't have an appraiser, a home inspector, underwriter, et cetera, having to, we have our picture of this is our portfolio,
right,
and our plan, and if it fits in the buy box, we do it.
Yep.
It's not, oh man, I've got to go, and I've done plenty of this in the past, so not, it's fun to just joke about now because I can, is painting someone's, garage or repairing their stairs with a handrail, or just to get a deal through because both parties couldn't do it. Now it's, that complaint's not going to be the gripe or have to come into that voicemail. It's now just me and our investment portfolio, delivering to that. Make sure the return's there.
Yeah, and if the money's there, it makes sense, and pull the trigger. Even in this market, I think that's what I tell people.
And there's still always deals. There's people that either don't take care of their property, just maybe have come into like a medical or a mishap, just some sort of financial thing that put them in a burden, and they're willing to sell their property at maybe a discount or even just ease to let it go for less than fair market value, or don't want to do the work that we might be willing to do to bring it to another level, which would be obviously worth more money that someone else would then appreciate the property.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity out there, and excited to find people that want to invest in Maine and then also continue to invest. I think that's the big thing I'm focused on in Austin, is really surrounding with the investors and people that are doing big things in that space.
And then returning to teach, so that's been a big thing is, again, educating more folks in our market has been helpful. And it's great that we have a lot of like-minded folks in the area from, lenders that, allow us to do podcasts in their studio, to just being able to teach classes to them, or they teach to us, so that we continue to sharpen the saw and give back, because then that puts us front and center. So we need to do more of that, and we'll be going, taking the show on the road after Mega Camp to do more throughout New England, which will hopefully bring, like you said, investment into Maine, because at the end of the day, we want to sell people on ourselves, but also the great state of Maine and all that's here.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to it. It's good catching up. And then I think right when we get back, we'll do a little recap and see where we're at.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks again.
Yeah.